Hello, Steel City Surge fans. Kippy here, coach of the Steel City Surge, back for week 5 of IBL. Coming off of a couple of really bad weeks, and the majority of our matchup here against Gerbolita, I believe is how you pronounce his name. We got Terra Water Gliscor and Terra Water Okidogi going into this matchup. We did not bring Rain this week, because Terra Water was expected. For Alligator is a little scary, Superior is a little scary. I'm gonna lead Torn. No Fortress is kind of nice. Superior's a little annoying. Gliscor kind of doesn't deal with our Bulova as nicely if we don't Terra, so that's good. We're gonna go ahead and start this fight. We'll see how this goes. No Rain this week, just because there's a Zapdos. There was a Chiyu too, so I think we scared off the Chiyu, which is really, really nice. Not a lot of hazards, because the only thing that could set up hazards is Gliscor and Fortress. There's also no real way for him to remove hazards, which is nice. Probably has boots on a lot of stuff, though. Dragapult lead, that checks out. That was a possibility. Lead into Torn. If this is Choice Specs, a Draco does KO us. I kind of just want to go hard into our Bulova here. We do live basically everything he wants to go for. I could go into Arcaludon, but I don't really know what he wants to go for either at the moment. It could just be a U-turn. If it is a U-turn, I do like our Bulova so we can get up the grassy terrain. So just a hard swap into our Bulova is fine. Does stay in. Could go for a U-turn. I don't really like the possibility of Choice Specs here. Choice Specs is always a possibility. We do see T-Volt, okay. T-Volt does 359 to 343. That does so little. We do know it's T-Volt though, so that's good. Thunderbolt did very much negative damage to our Bulova. So much so that we actually healed it up. It did 4%, so it's not Choice Specs. That's good to know. I don't even think it's got like a lot of special attack investment. From what I'm seeing here, this is like no investment Dragapult. Which is good to know. That's very good to know. Okay. If that's the case, then Flamethrower is not very good from my opponent. Thunderbolt. I can go for like a very free Alluring Voice here. The only thing that would mind taking an Alluring Voice is the Okidogi, which could be AB. I'm gonna Earth Power. I think you swap. Yeah, you swap. If you go to Okidogi, that'd be crazy. Zapdos. Okay, fair play. Alluring Voice would have done 20%. I think that's fine. Let's see. Nothing really stops me from Dracoing with Arcaludon. Now this is probably a Heat Wave. I went into Palafin real quick. Volt Switch would not be very good. I am expecting Heat Wave. I could go into Hatterene, I think. Arcaludon takes a Heat Wave pretty nicely from Zapdos, though. We're going to our Caledon. We do have Grassy Terrain up, which is nice for HP. Hurricane, okay, it's doing like 22% maybe. 322 to 166, that is a lot of damage. You did 48% with the Hurricane. That makes me think you're modest. Are you choice specs? You're choice specs with Hurricane. That is insane. Okay. Choice specs with Hurricane is crazy. That makes sense, though. I'm gonna drop a Draco here. This does like 66% or 64% minimum. Let's go for the Hurricane again. Does land again. Does not pick up the KO. We are currently in Custap range, though. We do land the Draco. That did a lot of damage. Now, Custap, I believe, 1/4 or less. We're at 66. We are less, so we could go for a T-Bolt here, I think. It's at, what is that, like 10% or so? 12%? I think we just drop another Draco. I'm gonna drop another Draco. We're gonna go for the Custap play. We're gonna get this off. Can we hit the Draco? Can we hit the Draco and knock out Zapdos? Oh, he goes for the swap. Okay. We're gonna land a decent Draco, though. Onto the Okie Dokie switch. We do land. Okay. It is a decent chunk, actually. It did a decent chunk at -2. We are currently at +2, though, defense. So if he wants to Drain Punch, we're at 86 HP. 27%. Drain Punch would knock us out. I can still Endure, too, if I really want to save a sack, potentially. This kind of becomes an issue. This could bulk up. I'm gonna save the Hatterene switch for later. I'm gonna go into Torn, I think. I think Torn is my best play currently. I think that's AV. Close combat, okay. That does not do as much. That's good. Hurricane, those specs. Definitely a modest Zapdos. Close combat. I haven't seen anything else yet. Now, Okie Dokie is at -1 Spadef. Bleak Wind should be able to knock it out. I'm going to go for the Bleak Wind. This is Terra Water. But I think even with that, unless he has like Ice Punch, which is a possibility. Do you see a swap? I think that's Assault Vest. I think that's Assault Vest, Okie Dokie. Bring in the Dragapult again. If we get the speed drop from Bleak Wind, that'd be crazy good. We do get the speed drop! Let's go! Okay. Dragapult took so much damage from Bleak Wind, too. It took just over half. Either that's got some bulk to it. Let me see. Thunder. T-Bolt. Okay. T-Bolt. It's not choice specs. It's not max special attack. T-Bolt can potentially KO us. We're at 174. or 55. So T-Bolt does... I don't think T-Bolt actually KOs, so I'm going to go for another Bleak Wind, because we should outspeed this. We should outspeed this. Because I don't even think this thing with Choice Scarf at max speed would... Okay, nice. We get another Bleak Wind off on something. Strike twice. Is that the... That's the Zapdos. Is he gonna sack Zapdos? He is. Okay, we got rid of Zapdos. That's massive for us. Alright. So we got rid of a threat for Palafin for late game. And that was also Choice Specs too, so that's really good for us. Superior could come in. It's not a Terra Captain though. And I can just U-turn on that if I need to and go into Arboliva. That also means the only flying type left is Gliscor. Young, the Dragapult comes back in. Okay. Now that it has its speed back, we definitely outsped it before. I kind of like going into Arboliva again. Although I think you might be choiced. I'm not sure. You could U-turn. I expect to see a U-turn here. I'm going to go into Arcaludon because Arcaludon isn't really doing that much. X, okay. X is kind of crazy. We do live. Hex, okay. That means there's like Toxic Chain, Okie Dokie is most likely the case here. I'm gonna go back into Arboliva here. I'm gonna go back into Arboliva. I don't know what item the Pult is. X, okay. I think you might be Scarf? No, you can't be Scarf. Could be like a Self-Fest or something. I'm gonna go for an Alluring Voice here. I don't see you going into Okie Dokie. I can kind of see you going into Gliscor right now. Gliscor doesn't take Alluring Voice too well. I'm gonna go for the Alluring Voice here. I went for Earth Power last time. I think you don't go into Okie Dokie on the switch here. Scourge. That's gotta be the Gliscor, right? Yep. Takes like a little over a fourth. Okay. It is Poison Heal with the Toxic Orb. Yeah. This might be Hazards. Do I want to go into Hatterene here on a potential... I mean, I could. A Future Sight would be really good here because there's no Dark type on the other side. So I am going to go into Aphrodite here. On the potential of Hazards. Now, obviously, Gliscor could go for something and cause some issues. Let's go for knockoff, okay. 236, 236, 236, 236. So 26% with knockoff. You are like a setup set, kind of. I do really like going for a Future Sight here. If you knock me out, you knock me out. Like a Gunk Shot. You could knock me out on a Gunk Shot, but it depends on your build. I like going for Future Sight because that's going to be massive damage and you're going to have to sack something most likely. Either sack something or take a lot of damage on something. You can't go for hazards here either. If you don't have hazards on Gliscor, then you don't have hazards at all, in my opinion. Well, it's not even just my opinion, it's just in general. I guess, Okie Dokie could have Toxic Spikes. EQ. Okay, that doesn't KO us. No, we get the Future Sight off pretty free. Earthquake, not doing that much. I could probably... We don't have our Cassette Berry. I could probably go for a Draining Kiss here. 34. We're at 118 currently. We're at 37%, so it's like a roll to KO most likely. I kind of like sacking off our Caledon here. You can kind of keep Aphrodite in the back for later. Future Sight would be very good on the switch. Do see knockoff. Okay, that's fine. Now, the thing is, I could go in with Treads. Ice Spinner is not going to be a KO, but it's a 2-shot. But if you Terra Water... I like getting in Palafin here. Yeah, knockoff. I'm gonna go back into Hatterene here. I feel like you could try to Toxic. Or knockoff again. Protect. Okay. And there's the Future Sight. This does a lot of damage! Oh my gosh! Ho ho! That did a lot of damage. That has no special bulk. Okay. I can go for like a free Mystical Fire here. That did so much damage. I feel like you could protect. I'm gonna go for another Future Sight on the I'm gonna expect you to protect. Yeah! Gotcha, baby! Gotcha, lacking! Future Sight again. You can't live another Future Sight. And I could Mystical Fire here. I like that. I'm gonna Mystical Fire. Mystical Fire should keep you really low. I probably could Draining Kiss there. But I feel like I go down to an EQ. Aphrodite does go down to an EQ. Okay, got the roll. Okay. So, the cool thing is... I think I can go into Torn now. I think Torn can guarantee a knockout onto this thing, regardless if it's Terra Water or not. Because I can just Bleak Wind, and it should do enough damage. Although, it's kind of high. Could protect. It's almost near half. But you don't have, like, any special bulk, really. So I'm gonna Bleak Wind. We have lost 2 Mons, but Future Sight is active next turn. So something is gonna go down. We have not used our Terra yet either, neither has my opponent. Do you see a swap? Something's gonna take a Bleak Wind. Will Ferrell. Is this the Feraligatr? It is the Feraligatr. Okay. We missed the Bleak Wind. That's so unfortunate. Do you see the Future Sight come in? It does so much damage. Okay, we chipped it down a ton. Aqua Jet does not KO us. I'm just gonna go for another Bleak Wind, I think. Yep, we're gonna pick up the KO on the Feraligatr. It's really good for us. Alright, so no Feraligatr. Go exotic. It's the Okie Dokie. I think you're Assault Vest based off of the damage I saw before. I think you're Terra Water here. I think you Terra Water. And I U-turn. I think I U-turn maybe into Treads, because you have close combat. No, I can't really Terra into Treads. I could go into Palafin, but even Palafin-Hero doesn't do anything. I am just going to Bleak Wind and see what happens. He does not go for the Terra! Oh, man! That is a lot of damage, and we get the speed drop. You see Gunk Shot. That might KO. It does KO. Okay. This is fine. I can basically go into Treads right now, I think, right? Because even if you Terra Water, EQ is doing a lot of damage. I mean, I could Terra Fire on you, right? With our Bolova? Maybe not. I'm gonna go into Treads. You're down so low. You are down so low. You're like at roughly 10%. An Ice Spinner might be able to KO you. Now, what about Gliscor? Gliscor does have Earthquake. Or Bolova kind of has to deal with Gliscor currently. An EQ is very expected here. A Heavy Slam does 10 to 12%. I'm gonna Heavy Slam on the expectation that you swap into Gliscor. Scourge, yep. Swap into the Gliscor. This is doing like 40 to 47%. That is so much damage, baby! Okay. Heavy Slam is still doing like 20%. And you're roughly in 20% range, so I'm gonna Heavy Slam again. Protect, that's fine. Earthquake is doing maybe half to us. But I just Heavy Slam again and force you to Terra. I just Heavy Slam again and force you to Terra here. Yep, there's the Terra. This should still do 20%. It should still do roughly 20%. Unless we get a crit. Nope. Okay, so an EQ definitely knocks you out next. We should live this. Yep, we live that easily. So an EQ should knock you out guaranteed, no matter what. And you can't resist it at all. Unless you go into Superior, and I don't think Superior wants to take that. Superior doesn't really take 2 Ice Spinners. So, you see Protect, but I think it's a little too late for that. Because we force you into Terra, and we haven't Terra'd with our Voliva yet. Yeah, you're still in range of Earthquake here. Ooh. Maybe not. Gliscor is going ham. Now my question is, how are you? You have Knockoff, Protect, Earthquake. I haven't seen your 4th move yet. Palafin in its hero form against physically defensive Gliscor. With Terra Water. At +1 defense and attack, I think it could be fine. But I like going into Hera first. A Giga Drain should KO. I think you might have Facade last too, which could be a problem. I'm gonna Giga Drain. I feel like this is closer than expected. Protect, okay. I always KO with Giga Drain anyway, so... I'm not even gonna try to bother with Terra Fire. Like, you can knock me off all you want, I'll just Terra Fire later. Swap, okay. Superior. It still does a decent chunk. Now I can Terra Fire and Terra Blast. Should knock it out. Terra Fire, Terra Blast should do a lot of damage no matter what. Sub, that's fine. You lose HP. I don't even think Gliscor wants to take that, right? I mean, it probably can, but I need to go for the Terra Fire, Terra Blast anyway. I mean, you could Glare, that could be a problem, but... The other thing is, too, Leech Seed is a possibility, but I don't really see that happening here. If I can get rid of Superior, I have a slight chance, I think. There is the Glare, it does connect, so that's kind of annoying, but if we hit this Terra Blast, it's fine, I think. We do hit the Terra Blast. We should knock it out here. We do knock it out. Alright, cool. That Gliscor is just so annoying. Okie Dokie comes back out, okay. We should be able to live Okie Dokie no matter what he wants to do. My thinking is we just go for an Earth Power and just take it out if we can. Plus combat. Does a lot of damage. We should pick up the KO here. Unless we get paralyzed, which I really hope is not the case. Please do not get paralyzed. Nice. Okay. Okie dokie, only got 1 KO. That was untorn. I'm okay with that. The other thing is, too, we have the grassy terrain up now, which is good. Because Earthquake's doing less. We're at 135 currently. 38%. We should live in Earthquake. Yeet young. So the Dragapult comes back out. Okay. You know it's got, like, no investment? Dragon Darts probably doesn't KO at all. Even with Grassy Terrain up, we're not doing that much. So I'm just gonna Learn Voice. Hex. Oh, that's fair. Yeah. We live, though! We get through the paralysis! We get the KO! Oh, our Bulova! I did see Cursed Body proc too. Our Bulova coming through! $25%. Palafin in his hero form should be able to set up on Gliscor a little bit too. I'm gonna go into our Bulova, or switch out of our Bulova for now. I think you protect. This game has just transformed. Our Bulova has picked up a couple of KOs. Let's see, EQ does very, very little. I think you protect. I'm gonna bulk up a couple of times. Yep, there's the protect. We're at +1/+1. You're gonna be doing even less to us. We're gonna start doing even more to you. I know you're very defensive, though. You are very physically defensive. I'm gonna get another bulk up off because you're gonna be doing even less to us. And the more I get, the more HP I'll end up getting back. I'm gonna bulk up again. I do outspeed you, which is good to know. You could Toxic us. That could be a problem. Knockoff is fine. Knockoff is fine. There's very, very little. We had Punching Glove. That's okay. I should still do a lot of damage. What do I need to get to two-shot you at max defense? No more Grassy Terrain either. Guaranteed 3 at KO currently. I'm okay with that. I'm going to go for the Drain Punch. I'm going to start Drain Punching. Oh, that's a lot of damage. Now, what's your last move? You're just going to Earthquake again. Okay. Palafin should pick up this last KO, ideally. I do have... I'm at +2 currently. And it's a very low chance to 2-shot, or like 3-shot. I expect you to protect here, so I'm gonna bulk up again. Oh, you don't? Okay. Are you just going for the KO then? You might be just trying to go for KOs. Or like a crit. Okay. I mean, I was gonna try to see if you were going to try to PP stall or something. So, I guess not. Alright, that's guaranteed 2-shot at least, so that's good. I would like to verbally apologize too. I was expecting potential, like, protect stall, so I do apologize for that, if that seems toxic, and I know I flipped out over that 2 weeks ago, and I do want to apologize for that. I did not have any intention of that. I was trying to play around PP stall. That's the only reason I did that. And I'll make sure to let my opponent know that too, and I am not proud of that ending up like that, but it is what it is. GG's to my opponent. Very, very fun builds. Blitzcore was a monster. Blitzcore is always a monster. It's one of my favorite Pokemon for a reason. It does very, very well. Arbolova is also a monster, though. Jeez. Yeah, GG's to my opponent, and I'll see you guys next week for Week 6. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you later. Peace.